Hello, hello, and happy Tuesday. So, we want to improve challenge mode a bit. That is the goal for this week. And we're going to file some stuff. I'm going to tackle, I don't know. I'll figure something out. All right, let's go pull up the challenge mode things here and here. Drag these over to this. Okay. So, design. Hey, Chef Alton. And negative perks. All right, there we go. And then the next one of these is the progress aspect of the game will be important. I don't think it needs to be roguelite progress. It could just be working your way through difficulties. Yeah, I think that is pretty important. Where is that? Yeah, I'll just see, do you feel a sense of progress? So I think this is going to be really important for convincing people to keep playing. Some players will want to complete every challenge, so there should actually be some difficulty there. But the player should probably also feel like runs are different enough to justify making this progress. Hey, Matt. Okay, well, there's that. So let's see what we can do to improve the game. When it comes to showing ability info and perks, we could potentially just add the tooltip to the whole perk, not just the single line that shows the ability. Yeah, this was a simplification that would allow me to add this without taking like 2 days. Then maybe we could get this done pretty quickly. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. But I need to. I know. Oh, hi, Katzo. Hi. There's just a floating tail here. Want to come sit over here so that in like half an hour I can make you move? Hi, Abby. Good, Katzo. Good, Katzo. Okay. Typical morning routine. Oh, this is gonna be very warm. Okay, let's go take a look at this. So we have a perk choice UI, I believe. Yeah, here. Although I need to spell it correctly, of course. And this has a rich text label. We could add a tooltip to this. And actually, we could do it just for battle perk choice. Let me try this out. Maybe this is not so hard at all. Where is battle perk choice? I don't even see it there. Oh, no, what? Yeah, what? Where is this? I should see. Oh, it's perk choice with adventure UI. Okay, there it is. And what battle perks use this, I think? Yes, there it is. Battle perk choice UI. All right, I understand now. Oh, I know you can't see this, but she's got her paw on my arm and she's trying to sleep now. That means no using the mouse. This cat. This cat's the best. All right, so is there an init here somewhere? There is. And there's a ready. And we could add the tooltip here, but we wouldn't be able to do this correctly. Time to get a Voyager. Well, I mean, I could use the mouse through the keyboard here at least. So as long as I just don't move my hand, it should be fine. But yeah, I do kind of wonder what a trackball would be like. The thing I don't like about the Voyager is it only has 2 thumb keys per side, and I've just gotten used to 3 now. It's also a little bigger than I'd like, but it's probably much higher construction quality. But yeah, I'm not going to spend $400 on a keyboard again for a while. Okay, in order for this to work, we need to get a tooltip. And there's somewhere that we have that tooltip here. Panel tooltip. Yeah, so whenever we make one of these, we're going to initialize it. Oh, we do initialize it with a tooltip. What? What? Why do we even do this? For the party member. Interesting. Okay, so this will not be as simple as I thought. You can buy the module and use it on your own QMK keyboard. They contributed their code to QMK. Use TRRS. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Interesting. It probably wouldn't be at the right height or anything though. Also, I don't know what it's like to use a trackball. I might enjoy it. I might be driven crazy. You can print a case for it. Yeah, yeah. I probably won't be doing a lot of work toward that end. I don't really mind using the mouse too much. And I do have this, and I don't use this all that often on the keyboard. You can never go back after having embraced the tons of buttons on the G600. Yeah, I really got to find a replacement for the G600 because this one probably doesn't have too much life left in it. All right, so all we need to do is add a tooltip on parent. We have some function for putting these in. Where is it? Set tooltip for node. Add to node. Here it is. Okay, so I think I want to do this. Battle perk choice UI. This gets initialized with a tooltip, yeah. So let's override that. Cut the weight down. I don't even mind the weight or the sensor. I just want this exact mouse forever. And it's not possible anymore. Well, I guess it is with spending enough money. Here's analytics. All right, this is just void though. This needs to be virtual. And then we'll need to call into the parent. So base.init. And then go pull in all these things. Already convinced yourself to go back. I saw some like super light mouse the other day, although I don't remember what it was called. But it was some gaming mouse that was like less than 20 grams or something like that. It looked like it was missing a lot of material. And then I found out about some site called Ploopy. And they do, I guess, open source hardware. And the thing that looked interesting was, I think you know about this site, Matt. There was the knob. But they say at the top of this, all shipping to the US is currently suspended. And they also never mention on this page, can you press this in or is it literally just a knob? Because if you can't press it in, that is much less interesting to me. And they show a video of someone using it, but they don't show them pressing it in. It's just them turning it. But they do say many functions. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't fully read this because they don't ship to the US anyway. He's not now. Oh, you're so cute. She just looked right up at me. Stopped outbound mail to the US. Yeah. It's a real shame. Well, I probably wouldn't have placed an order anyway. But I do think a volume control without having to use my keyboard would be nice. Then again, I just use the keyboard, so it's not that bad. All right, so tooltip on parent, we want to add this to the node being the rich text label in here, which I don't think we have access to. No, it's just private. All right, let's make it protected for now. I'll need to properly do this, but we're going to do that. The tooltip is going to be the tooltip. The text is going to be hello world, and the content is going to be nothing. I want to see if this works, because if it does, then it should be pretty easy to get the correct text there. I'm going to get the PCBs made anyway. Yeah, I also heard, and I thought this was pretty interesting. There's apparently, oh, I'm sorry, Ken, so I'm going to have to use the mouse. There's a 3D printer that like shattered all Kickstarter goals for printers. It made like $8 billion in the first day or something. And I don't know a lot about 3D printers, so it's called a tool changing printer. And I guess the way that it works is it has this like movable head that goes and attaches itself to a new filament producing tool so that it can do 4 colors like much more easily than other printers and without wasting as much material and stuff. So that sounded pretty interesting too. I don't even have a 3D printer. And if I did, I don't know what I'd be printing with it, but if I had one, I'd probably consider making those things. But I also probably wouldn't use it beyond that. Okay, so battle perk we need. So we click buy, we should see, yeah, nice, hello world. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we just fill this tooltip in whenever we notice that there is an ability there. Sounds like you need to buy a tool changing 3D printer. No. I really don't know what I would do though. Like, I have a case for this keyboard now. I can't think of any other little plastic parts. I'm not that much of a tinkerer. So yeah, maybe I'd have to come up with projects. All right, so this is pretty nice. Let's go figure out now how to, there's a choice, and the choice just has a description. But we know that it's a battle perk choice. So I guess we can cast it to this and then get the list of perks. And if there happens to contain one for this, then we set up a tooltip for it. Oh boy. Okay, so we'll do setup tooltip for ability. And then put this down here. Yeah, this will be a nice little change that'll help out a lot of people. And it shouldn't be that hard to do. So we get battle perk. Okay, I'm going to have to move my hand pretty soon. I'm like leaning downward. She's resting on me. So now we iterate over all of the perks for each battle perk. Is this even a thing? No, it's battle perk choice. Wait, no, it's not. It's battle perk. I just need to import it. All right, so go through each perk. If perk dot what ID is equal to battle perk ID dot ability. It's not called ability, skills. I call it skills. All right, so if it's a skills thing, we're gonna add this tooltip, and then we're gonna return. Oh, the tooltip needs to be passed in here. Yeah, tooltip. Hey, Phil. Morning. Tempers my desire to tinker. It sounds like you would enjoy it. Well, it's not just enjoy it. It sounds like you might use it. Like 3D printing stuff comes to mind, I think, sooner for you than it does for me. And I think that's what matters most out of purchases, at least in our household. Like my wife and I aren't too critical about each other's purchases, but every once in a while we'll buy something that we just don't necessarily use. And that's the only time where I'm like, yeah, we should probably get rid of this then. So if I knew that I'd use it, my wife would probably support the decision, but I'm pretty confident I wouldn't use it that much. Hey, Sir Puppin. All right, so now we just need to get which particular ability it is. I don't know how that works. Get effect. Don't I have like a skills perk or something? Skills battle perk. Wow, there it is. Oh, it is a skills battle perk. So I can just check this. I guess we could also check the ID. And then what do we have in here? IDs to levels. Okay. So we could do, if perk is this, skills battle perk. We could just do of type in here. Skills battle perk. Yeah. And then do this. Did I mess this up? Did I mess this up? No, I didn't mess this up. Skill perk. There should only be one of these. Yeah, there should only be one of these. How does this operate? It's a list. Okay. Hey, Pretzel. I want decent resolution. What would you print? Hey, Smack. Because I remember a long, long time ago, there were these little, let me look this up off screen. FF7 figurines. Long time ago. Yeah. Let me show a picture of this. So something like this. And I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. But I don't even have a place where I would display this if I were to print something like this out. So I think it looks cool. Also, this was so long ago, probably before 3D printers were a household thing. All right, I gotta move my arm, cat. This is gonna be uncomfortable. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Poor little cat, so. Oh, starting to get toasty though. Okay, so now, oh, she's still trying to use my arm anyway. Oh, how delightful. All right, IDs to levels. So we got to make sure that there's only one in there. So if skill perk dot IDs to levels dot count is greater than 1, then throw new invalid operation exception. Skill tooltips only support having. Actually, you know what maybe we should do is just put this in the tooltip. Yeah. String tooltip equals string.empty. And then tooltip equals I support having a single ability. And then push error on this. Otherwise, get that one tooltip. Tooltip equals. So we need to get the, oh, which means you need the town. No, this is, how do we do this? How do we come up with the, how do we come up with the text anyway? Don't I have to make an abilities component or something? We throwing exceptions around these parts? Hey, Flair. They have to drip our faucets during the winter, and it's a long handle faucet in the kitchen. First thing I designed and printed is an adjustable stopper. Oh, nice. Yeah. Want organization for my board game pieces so they aren't all disorganized in the box. Yeah, yeah. By the way, I'm not trying to imply there are no uses for this sort of thing. I'm saying I myself don't think I'd use it a lot, but I think it's cool what other people do with 3D printers. Yeah, so the issue I got to do here is I need to have an ability, player ability, and I need to be able to get a tooltip using an abilities component. But the abilities component won't exist. So I need to make one. Do we ever do one of those? New cloned? I clone this for town perk choice, I think. Yeah, it's right there that I clone this. Okay, so something like this is gonna have to happen. This is gonna be a little bit obnoxious. So at the end of the day, we need to do ability.get tooltip and pass in an abilities component. And our abilities component needs to have this at the correct level. And we know there's just one of these. Is there a way to get like just whatever the first key is? I wonder if you can do this. I wonder what this would even do. T source. It's got to be an enumerable, which means I'd have to do this on the keys. So ability ID equals this. Then make something. We're not cloning abilities here. So I guess we just make one of these. Maybe put it as empty and then add an ability. And what is this? All abilities.create. What does create do? It calls in construct for get type. Okay. This might work. And then we need to set its level. All right, level equals, where is it? Skill perk.ids to level. And get rid of this and this and this. And then use the tooltip. What's the problem here? Local parameter name tooltip. Oh, this has got to be tooltip text. Wait a second, then we don't need this, do we? Oh, yes, we do. Description label. So this goes here. All right, I think I did it. Now this doesn't take anything in? It takes in an entity? Are you kidding me? Why? Why you do this? Entity. What, so that we can get its power? Oh, this is going to be really difficult then. Oh, man. I hadn't thought of this. Yeah. All right. Well, we could, if we make a new node here, we're going to have to free it. Oh, man. If you've hired the adventurer, we already have a node. If you haven't hired the adventurer, we just want to print something, which means we need to make one of these. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. All right, how does this work? We call create adventurer with a particular class and a 1. What is the 1? The level? The level, yeah. And town. Then we add listeners and stuff. Adventurer on drop item. Nothing's going to stop listening for this. Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, we can still call it create adventurer, and I guess just delete it afterward. But we need it to have all of its stat bonuses. Yeah. This is going to be a little bit annoying. All right, let's try it out. Adventurer class. I wonder if this even matters. I think we can just set it to anything and then just delete this. So you'll have a level 1 adventurer. We're going to need the town passed in here. This is going to be a mess, like a total mess. I should just change this. But I want to see if it even works. All right, so there's our adventurer. We pass this in here. And do that. And then make it reflect its correct stats. What does this do? Reflect skills. I don't want skills. I want stats. Doesn't the word reflect exist here for something else? Yeah, stat bonuses. And what's that taken? An adventurer, and that's it. Because it's supposed to have a town component. It probably doesn't. Of course it doesn't. What does create adventurer do? Oh wait, it might add it. Is there a town component here? I don't see one. There's instance.init. Take care, Matt. I hope you have a good day. Hope the deploy goes well. There's this. Yeah, we add a town component. Okay, then we just what? Delete this whole thing? Because create adventure is actually returning a node. Walking entity, character body, yeah. So then we get the text and then we do adventurer.queue_free. Okay, so this is, there's only ever one of these things. Skill perk equals, yeah, that. And if the skill perk is null, then just return. Otherwise, there's all of this stuff. All right, there's our function. Does it work? Let's go try it. Hi. You're very clean. It looks like it worked. It's the wrong level. I don't know how I messed up the level. I think because of how get tooltip works, I need to give this thing the ability. Oh, how fun. All right, let's go take a look. I don't think this will be that hard to do. I just wonder how brittle is this code. So where's the thing where... Yeah, this form skill table. It takes in an entity, presumably so we can get the level. So it can get, what, the next level? Form skill table takes in a level. It's going to be 0 for this. Is this correct? I don't think this is correct. No, we got to highlight the next level. Yeah, this is not correct. So I need to give this character an ability. Oh, man. All right, fine. Get component. Abilities component. Adventurer dot. Add ability. I guess this. I'd be impressed if this worked. It would also mean that we're adding this ability to 2 different things. Oh, wait. What am I doing? We're passing in. No, this is bad. We should not be making a new abilities component here. We have one on the adventurer. So this should be deleted. This should maybe get deleted. I'm not sure about that. All right, let's just get rid of all of that. And let's do this. Abilities component AC equals that. All right, now I think we have a function on here that says something about set the level. Yeah, set ability level. All right, so we just do that and we should be good. Get ability tooltip doesn't exist, yeah. Hey, Orokosaki. And hey, half. Abilities on abilities on abilities. Yeah, so the difficulty here is we're trying to show a tooltip for an adventure you might not have. Like, first of all, this game was designed. We have a regular mode where you hire an adventurer and then you level them up. And then we have a challenge mode where you can potentially level up adventurers you don't have. And if you don't have them, it means we need to create an adventurer just for the sake of showing the right tooltip, which means we need to set their abilities correctly, which is what I'm trying to do here. And we're almost there. So now we just need the ability, base ability. And this may not exist, but we know now that it has to. So we do that. And then we're done. Like I said, this will probably be brittle because right now I just have it set to rogue, which probably doesn't matter. But in the future, if we ever do, I don't know why we would, but if we ever have abilities that are like per class, or you could have them shared between classes, might be a problem with that. All right, that looks pretty good. Yeah. Every time a zombie bites an enemy, it heals itself based on the damage dealt. Okay, so let's choose that one. Echo Strike, Swords Up. Okay, all of this is fine because they're percentage based. If any of these say a specific number in there, I think they're going to break. No, so far none of them have. Yeah, this one, for example. Your zombies explode and they die, dealing damage to all enemies. It says 4 damage to all enemies. I think that's just made up. Although it might not be. No, but now here's why the class would matter, is because they have different stats. Okay, so we need to figure out who this is for, which we could maybe do. Does battle perk choice know? It does know. Okay, well that's easy then. We'll just take it from there. Battle perk choice dot adventurer class. And then I guess we could maybe also get what level they are. How would we do that part? Init adventure level, here it is. Get level of adventure. Wow. I'm gonna be pretty impressed if this stuff actually works. Adventure level equals this. All right, reflect stat bonuses. What does this do? Get the town, but for what reason? Processed items tracker. This adds guild supplies. Oh, this gets their level. Oh, interesting. So we don't need to set this at all. I don't think there's a reason to do this. I think we just say something like this will use the proper level. So we can set this at -1 and it should be fine. Well, that might actually be a problem. What does setting it to -1 do? Yeah, that's gonna fail. Okay. It's level -1, so we got to start at least 1. All right, but there's one other problem, right? That whatever ability you get needs to reflect all the power bonuses you would have gotten too, which might happen here. Yeah, so let's go change battle perk choice generator so that it only generates skill choices, maybe. How do we do that? Offensive perk IDs. Oh, you know what we can do? We can just put haste here temporarily to make it considered defensive. So now it can't generate haste. So there's what? Lifesteal, skills, power. There's another one. Thorns. Yeah, take out thorns too. All right, so now we'll always generate a skill. Man, why are my eyes so dry? I used eye drops this morning. Oh, I probably shouldn't be staring at a computer screen for this long. I mean, it hasn't been long today, but it's like every day I'm looking at a computer screen. I know it's not that unusual nowadays, but that doesn't mean it's good for you. All right, so what we're looking for here is anything with an actual number. No, none of those are. They're all just, yeah, like this. All right, so it says grants stalagmite, which forms a spike of earth underneath an enemy for 17 damage. So 17 damage. However, 2 power is also granted here. So if I choose this, I think it's not actually going to show 17. It'll be slightly higher. Yeah, it's 20. So the question is, if my power were 12, would it have been 17? Stalagmite. Power scaling. 1.4 times 12. Yes, it would have been. So now 1.4 times 14. 20. Yeah, okay. All right, that I don't know whether we should do anything about. None of those have it. None of those have it. None of those have it. This one does. Yeah, so that's the question right now. Problem, we show damage numbers in the tooltip without considering power that would be granted by the perk itself. So should we take that into account? I think the proper thing to do would be to take it into account, but it's not going to be fun to do that. And I think only power can influence this. Although technically it could be anything. Man. All right, if we wanted to do that, it's going to get really tedious really quickly. So if we want to take the power that would be granted into account, then we need a way to adjust stats based on a battle perk, which we must have that code somewhere. Hey, Fairmont. Clever note-taking method. Well, part of this, this in particular at least, is just for the sake of the stream. Like, I want people to be able to follow along with what I'm doing. But I do try to take a lot of notes. Also, if anyone ever wants to see these, I just uploaded new notes yesterday. I think around something in C# and something in... Oh, that's weird. Yeah, something in the C# node about how to get the new SDK. Yeah, here. And then a bunch of other little things. I don't like make the diffs obvious. Hey, Goose. Okay, so adjusting the power of this. Somewhere we grant you the choice. So I guess battle perk panel. And once you've chosen it, chose perk, here it is. What does this do? Oh, this simply tracks it. And then stat computations is what's responsible for reflecting it. Okay, I have an idea, but this is very, very risky. Adventure of battle perks. What we could do is we could temporarily add it into here and then remove it. But this has num perks chosen here. So how does this work? If not data, try get value, make a new perk data and set it here. And then there's a combine. We need like an uncombine. Or we make another adventure of battle perks altogether. So we duplicate this dictionary and then modify this one. Huh. I don't know if this is going to change the level. Yeah, the music, I'm happy with the overall sound, but there is a bug in FL Studio that makes it annoying to like get that sound every time, and it should be very obvious. In fact, I should probably follow up about that. Consider following up with Arturia about the bug I encountered. Because I'd like to make that other track, but I can't really do that with the bug that I had encountered. But yeah, it was a fun stream. Use LMMS to compose? I've never seen that. What is that? Audio workstation software. Huh. I'm surprised I haven't heard of that. Yeah, in this case, I think it was a plugin that's broken. So like it would probably be broken in any DAW that you use, but I don't have proof that that's the case. It could be some interaction with FL Studio. It actually kind of makes me wonder, I probably can't even do this, but I wonder if I could lower the firmware of my synth and then lower the version of FL Studio. That part I know I could do, but it's probably not worth it. Just don't ever close it. Actually, that's another thing. Yeah, I find that to kind of be the case with a lot of the open source programs. I was using something called Shotcut for video editing for a while, and there were a lot of frustrations with it. And I felt bad because the owner of the repository would sometimes say to people on the forums like, "Look, if you're frustrated, it's open source. Just go do it yourself." And while that's possible, it's not usually that easy. Also, I was not one of the people who complained on the forums, so I just saw this person responding that way to other people. But at one point, I switched to DaVinci, and I'm like, "Oh man, this is just so much better. Like I'm not struggling with these same things. The program isn't crashing." So yeah, I think open source stuff is nice to get started with, but unless it's like very well maintained, it's probably gonna have some frustrations that you'll never move past. And GIMP is another case where I'm just like, man, it does a lot, but it does a lot very weirdly. Gladly pay money for good software that's bug free and solid. Yeah. Hey, Kevin. All right. So if we wanted to do this, I think this is how we would do it. We would duplicate this dictionary and then we change a bunch of stuff. But we can't just we'd have to copy these correctly too. And I'm not sure this is worth it. And even if we do this, we would then need to change stack computations to modify where it's pulling these from because it's pulling them from here right now. So I don't think this is worth it. I don't think people are going to go validate this, but I don't like that it's technically incorrect. Yeah, I think if we were to do this, I think the best possible way is add the perk to Adventurer Battle Perks and then remove it afterward. This means we need an uncombine function. Well, actually, uncombine isn't really true. It's just combined with a negative delta, which again would be like hyper obnoxious to do. Because I think we have single float battle perk. I guess our uncombine would just be value minus equal existing value. In fact, how often did we override this? Never. It's only for this. So yeah, we would have an uncombine because it can't just be a negative thing. Easy enough to write that. All right, where's this called from? Maybe this is the route I want to go. So what do we do here? Make a new one of these, set it, then go try get value and call combine. So we would make like a, well, we do a version of this that doesn't have num perks chosen plus plus. I think. Yeah. It's been 209 days of streaming. Yeah, 209 days of streaming. So it's been about a year and a half of calendar time developing the game. All right, I'm going to say that I don't think this is worth it. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. I'll write this down somewhere. But yeah, I don't think the code is... Oh, I don't know. I'll write in the polish thing. Oh, wait, if we're going to do that, let's trim down the image, huh? Okay, so if we wanted to fix this, then I think we would need to call this dot shows perk followed by an unchoose perk, which calls a new uncombine function. We only have one implementer of combine, so it should be very easy to write. I didn't do this because I just don't think it's worth the effort. Damage numbers will be slightly wrong, but people probably aren't going to check or care. Yeah. Looks good, quite nice. Well, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's been quite a long journey. What we're trying to do right now, I mentioned challenge mode a while ago. So, challenge mode is the way of adding replayability into the game, and it's playable. A lot of these have been coded. So, like this, if we click this, there are some constraints here, but then other ones haven't been. This one says a constraint will be here, but I haven't finished them for the specialization. So some of these aren't even coded. Okay, whatever. That's easy enough. We just got to make them. But then other parts of the game are a little not well fleshed out. So, for example, if this thing that I was dealing with here is up until now we had no tooltips. So imagine I'm hovering over to the left of this. I'm not, but imagine I'm hovering over here. You just wouldn't see anything. So if you were like, what does stalagmite do? You wouldn't know. But now you can hover over it and see what does the ability do when there's an ability there. And people have been asking for this, and I've just been like, well, it's not really worth it for us to do. And I did it the cheapo way. Like ideally, it's when you hover over stalagmite, but we just made it when you hover over any part of this. So this is all one label. I would have needed to split these into 4 different labels and then check for only being on this one. And yeah, it's just not worth it. So yeah, now you can see what all these abilities do, which is really good. And I think we're going to just check that in. I should probably just double check and make sure that it works for a level 2 of something. So let's just keep clicking this until we see level 2. It'll happen after like another 10 times. Oh, it was on the right side. I didn't see it fast enough. All right, well, whatever. There it is. All right. Yeah, level 2. Yeah, it's highlighting the right thing. Okay, yeah. And if we had the adventurer, would this stuff get updated, I wonder? I should try that. Let's find one that does damage. Yeah, here. So it does 115 damage. 115. So now let's try getting the treasure room. And then let's get, we got to get golem items, which is just, oh, there it is. Nice. It was pure luck. All right, so I'm going to open this treasure chest, which is going to give us the golem shards, which I'll go put in the guild. Wait. Before we do this, before I completely forget what this number was, 115. Okay, so as soon as I put this in here, it should be higher now. It's not guaranteed that it would be higher because all I did is add 1 power, and 1 power might not have been enough to do this. This is also adding 7 power in there, but I think it... Oh, no, the tooltips don't get updated when you get more power. Oh, man. This sucks. Okay, another problem. Whenever you get guild supplies, the tooltips won't be updated since they're only done at initialization time. Hey, Skeleseller. Challenge mode has so much to do. I still haven't seen it all, and it's proof it has great replay value. Have you been playing it? Oh, the reason this is a pain here is because we're keeping temporary entities around. I guess it doesn't need to be temporary entities, though. They could just be real entities. Where is this? Battle perk choice UI. Yeah, this is when we didn't have the adventurer. Well, we might have had the adventurer. And if we had the adventurer, then this wouldn't be a problem. And if we don't have it, then we need to update this every single time. I mean, alternatively, we could just say it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, I think I might do that. Although we should do the right thing when it's easy to do the right thing. Yeah, let's at least do that. So how about that? Adventurer, existing adventurer. This is the adventurer class, but I don't know if we have that here. No, we don't. It's this. So if that exists, then we can use this. Adventurer equals... I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. I guess we'll just do it this way. All right, so if adventurer is null, then make a new one and do all this stuff. If they're not null, then we get their ability, which may not exist at that point. Oh, we can't do that. All right. Wait, what do we do if they don't exist then? We do this already in skill table or something, right? I gotta go look that up. Yeah, I have to. I'm trying to beat each one on easy first, and I don't use the speed up cheat or I'll lose. Did the first two so far and enjoy the process. Nice. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Because I do wonder, like, are people enjoying it? Is it a step in the right direction? And I just need a little bit more insight into that stuff. All right, let's go to base ability, find the tooltip thing, figure out what I'm doing for this. Form skill table. Quicker strike. I just need to figure out wherever we're calling this. It's apparently nowhere because it's get tooltip. All right, well, it's one of these. It is right there. Get locked ability message. I guess it's this. But this is get ability or default. Okay, that makes sense. So that's all we need to do. So this needs to be get ability or default. So that'll always exist. And now we just need the abilities component from this adventurer, which we can get here. Okay. I think that'll work. Let's delete all of this stuff. Okay, so now I got to test this out. So if you have the adventurer already, it will reflect its bonuses correctly. No, that's not true. No, this is pointless. I guess it saves us having to construct a new adventurer. Also, we only need to put this here and only at the end of this. All right, I'll need to change this. No, this will mess everything up. I should change it now. Or I should just not do what I did. Yeah, what is the point of doing what I did? It's unnecessary construction and freeing. Yeah, okay. I'll change it. So if it's null, make this, and then get its ability. There shouldn't be a default here. It's just get. Yeah, setting it to level 0 doesn't even matter. Although, didn't we need to level it up? Oh, it's right there. All right, so either way, we're just getting the tooltip text. I guess get rid of this. There, and there. Rename this to AC. And get the tooltip text of this thing. AC.get ability. It could be get ability or default. I don't have the ability. Okay. And then free this thing. All right. I think that'll work. Let's try it. This is kind of stupid. This is just premature optimization. I mean, we might as well check to see because this will simplify things in the future for me, which is the only benefit of doing things this way. So we got to find someone that does actual damage numbers. None of these. I should probably just have it generate one that always does damage numbers. Yeah, here we go. 4. So if I pick this, power is actually going to go by 5. So now I unlock all the adventurers. And it's now doing 5 damage. Okay, sure, whatever. All right, so now I do this, though. And we find one that does damage again. Nothing so far. Nothing so far. There are like 3 abilities in the game that do this, aren't there? Yeah. There we go. There's one of them. This is boulder level 1. It's showing level 0, though. So then this is kind of pointless, isn't it? How did we show the level of the next thing that you're going to get? I don't think I understand how that happened. Get tooltip for an adventurer? Oh, because we grant them level 0? Get ability description. All of these do pretty much the exact same thing. This is wild shot. I want something like quicker strike. Oh, how do we get the level? Get level of ability for entity. This can return 0. Huh. How? Maybe I'm misremembering the UI here? Oh, yeah, because of course, it's always going to show you the ability level you have. Because this is not a level up dialogue. Oh. Well, that complicates things. Oh, man, yeah. All right, that complicates things. So we need to temporarily increase the skill level. I gotta stop opening that file. This one. Ability equals getter default. I think we should just cut this out. I think this code is complicating everything. Yeah, I think we just delete this and go back to what we had. Plus, what we had worked for every single case. Do I need to go back further? Yeah, like that. Oh, God. I don't know if I went back too far. Let me read this again. Reflect stat bonuses, set ability level to the level that we're trying to give you. Give you the ability, get a tooltip for that ability. Yeah. Now it shouldn't matter if you have the adventure or not. Hey, let me put it this way. If this is all we do and everything just looks good, then fine. We never have to touch this code again. Everyone's happy. Yeah. None of these are actual damage numbers. 7% seems terrible. Okay, that's probably not balanced, but that's a different problem. Oh, here we go. When a chunk of gravel is consumed, you will heal some health. All right, so it says 11. Let's click that. And now let's take a look. It should be higher than 11. Yeah, now it's 14. Okay, I think that's fine. It's bad I never even look at the skills in challenge mode. I see Rogue or Mage and click choose. I think that's totally fine. I think the problem is that if you did see Echo Strikes and you were like, what does that do? You could only tell what it did if you had the Mage already. And then you had to find the ability, which in this case it's right there. And then you had to go back to the tab you were on and be like, okay, now is that better than this? And you're like, oh, shield's up. Where is that? And you realize, oh, I don't even have the warrior. I do here. But let's say you didn't. You'd have no way of knowing what that does. So now you at least have a way of being able to make that decision. Now, if you ignore that information, that's totally fine. I mean, you might just be like, oh, I like the mage. Let's just pick them. But I imagine that as people get sweatier and sweatier about this game, that they'll probably want to know that information. Although, I guess if they did get to that point, they'd know what it does without having to look at it. But yeah. All right, so I think we're going to check this in. Is there anything... Well, I know I need to clean up the commit a bit. Probably need to No, I guess that's pretty much it. Another problem is that I don't ever update the tooltips if your adventurers get more power through the treasure room. Again, I just don't think it's worth the effort. Maybe that's part of why I never bothered looking at the skills. Yeah, I think if it were here, it might be a little bit easier. Although still, I'm not sure how much it would change your mind. If you did read something like this and you're like, oh my God, that's a huge damage reduction for a character that I'm using a lot. Like that might matter. Okay, so I know I made at least one coding sin here. This stuff can't be checked in. This needs to be changed to that. And it is totally fine. This stuff is mostly fine. This needs to be changed. This is in perk choice. And it's so that we can add a tooltip to it, which we otherwise wouldn't need to add. Alternatively, we could always add the tooltip and then just set text on it when we need it, but I don't think that's a good idea. So let's change this to description label and then put a get private set and then put this down here. All right, that should fix that problem. This is just spacing because we added the town. No, wait, we didn't add the town. Oh, because we added virtual. Okay, sure. So I didn't actually change the constructor, but now it's split over many lines because this became too long. That's okay. That's not really a change. This looks fine. So it's just this file. So let's just look over this file in isolation. There was no way to see that info prior unless you already had the knowledge. Well, there was a way to see the info. You just needed to have the adventurer already. So in this case, if we had the mage and there was no tooltip, you'd see Echo Strike and you'd go over here and you'd find Echo Strike. That's the only way you could see it, though. You needed the adventurer already, and then you needed to go to a different dialogue and then come back to the existing dialogue. So yeah, I was 100% for making this change. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do all the tiny little things like, where's an example? Yeah, like this. This says it's going to heal you for 29 health. Technically, that number could change by you getting treasure. And I'm not going to update that tooltip. So you might be like, oh, this is going to heal me for more, but oh, that number's not high enough. It's like, well, that number might actually be higher than you think, but I'm not going to update that. And some people might get confused by that. And if they are confused, then we can tackle the difficulty of solving that. And it's not even that hard. It's just not worth it. All right, so we're going to look through this whole file. Let's see. Set up tooltip for ability. I'm going to write what this does here. For perks that grant abilities, we don't want players to have to go to another UI to find out what they do. Plus no other UI even shows it if you haven't unlocked the adventurer yet. As a result, we show a tooltip for the whole perk if you have, for the whole choice if one of the perks therein grants an ability. Okay, so I'm going to write this. At the time of writing, no perk grants multiple skills. We should probably just stop it from being able to grant multiple skills. I coded the ability for that to happen just in case we would use it, but we didn't use it. So now I think we should remove the ability. Skill battle perk. It's called skills battle perk. I guess it had to be changed to even the name. It would have to be singular, skill battle perk. Because this has a dictionary of levels. We can generate what these are. How does this work right now? Get unmaxed skills and just sample one. Yeah, we only ever modify one skill. So we don't need a dictionary here. We could just have it be an ability ID and an integer. I think I'm just going to do this. Constant num abilities to generate. Maybe we'll put this at the class level. Private constant. That way I can write a summary style comment here. I originally coded this class with the so that we could generate multiple abilities at once. Okay, cat, I gotta move you. I'm in like the weirdest position right now. Excuse me, cat. So, will you please get up and go to this chair? Come on, Abby. Come on, Catso. That's good, Catso. Oh, oh man. Uh, my shoulder. I was holding my arm like this because I didn't want to bother her. The things we do for our pets. Yeah, that's Abby. Hey, Campbell Soup. All right, originally coded this class so we could generate multiple abilities at once, but then I never ended up using it. If we ever change this number, then we have to modify how we render tooltips for multiple abilities. Honestly, we should just delete this, right? Yeah, we should just delete this. I think that's the right way to go about doing this. All right, I'll do that in the next commit then. Let me write that down. Remove the ability for there to be multiple skills in a skills battle perk. Just have it be one. Rename the class to be singular. Does she have any siblings? None that we know of. She actually came from Kuwait, which is very bizarre. The animal shelter near us has someone who flies between Kuwait and the US, and I don't know, thought she'd have a better chance of getting adopted in the US. So she was here for like a week, and then we walked into the animal shelter and we fell in love. Now we have a cat. I've been coding nonstop the past week and a week and a half, to refactor my game to support multiplayer, and I'm so happy with how everything's turning out. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, multiplayer is not easy. Well, thanks for the resub, Camel Soup. I appreciate it. Siblings as in your household? Oh, no. Yeah, no, we only have the one cat. Also, I don't know if you've heard this story, but my wife knows that I like cats. So we went to the cat shelter, and they have a cat cafe there. So we booked an hour, and this is like my wife's gift to me. And my wife is like bored to tears in there. She's sitting there next to a cat that is lifeless, and is she's not petting the cat. She's just sitting there. And after like 45 minutes of our 1 hour, she's like, okay, I think we should probably get going. I'm like, no, we paid for this time. I'm having fun with the cats. So I'm like, okay, this one's friendly. And Abby is on top of the refrigerator in that room. So I'm like, why don't you come over and like interact with this cat? So my wife does, and she's petting the cat, and she's like, okay, fine, this is okay. And then Abby licks her hand, and my wife's eyes just like dilate immediately, and she's like, we need to have this cat. She was so touched. She she'd never been licked by a cat before, I guess. And then and then she was like, what if we don't get the cat? What if someone else adopts it out from under us? I'm like, just calm down. It's gonna be like a day or two, we'll find out. And then obviously now we have the cat, so you know what happened. But yeah, she was a little antsy for that time. And then she started saying things like, she's like, we have a bunch of plants. My wife really likes plants and gardening. And she's like, I am not moving any plants for this cat. The cat's going to have to figure things out. And then the first day the cat's in the house, my wife moves all the plants to another room. She's like, I'll do anything for this cat. Hey, Oakleus. I thought y'all had cats before. Pets? No. No, we didn't. My wife was, I don't think she had good experiences with animals growing up. She grew up in India, and I don't think house pets were as common when she was growing up. So you'd find a lot of like stray dogs or stray cats in India, and like you probably shouldn't pet them most of the time. Some people are taking care of them now, and I think the culture has changed a bit with respect to cats and I guess dogs. But yeah, so she wasn't the most receptive to that, and now she's totally turned around. She loves cats, she loves dogs. She's had enough good experiences. Yeah, it wasn't until whatever I said in the command, I guess, yeah, beginning of last year that we got Abby. Knew what she needed to do, yeah. She's a lovely cat now. They're like dog gangs, the Jets. When you're a dog all the way. Yeah, I'm gonna change this. Which means that we should probably just undo the changes I made to this thing. Yeah, let's just delete it. Okay, so this should all be on a different branch. Let's go make a different branch. Git checkout. Add ability tooltips for battle perks. There are several limitations here which aren't worth the effort to fix. One is any changes to power, e.g. through guild supplies, that happen after generating the tooltip won't be updated, won't be up to date, I guess, in the tooltip. The second is power granted through the perk will not be considered by the ability tooltip. E.g., if you are given plus 100 power, the ability tooltip will treat it as though you don't have that plus 100. And then the third one is this technically only, oh, I got to do one other thing here. And change the tooltip code to not push an error. All right, this technically only works for a single ability, which is all we ever generate anyway. I'm going to make a commit after this to enforce that generation. Okay. Hey again, B. How you doing? You ready for streaming tomorrow? All right, now let's go make that change I just mentioned so that we're not liars. This is done. So skills battle perk needs to change. We're going to rename it to skill battle perk. This can track multiple skills. This tracks a single skill to grant as part of a perk. The reason why it tracks multiple, you tend to use dictionaries. What? Oh, I see. There's no way. I'll just leave it at this. Yeah. All right, so now we save this as skill battle perk. Then we reveal this. And, oh, that was dumb. Okay, hold on. Let's undo that. The reason that was dumb is because I should do this through the editor so that it also renames the UID file and doesn't generate a new UID. Skills battle perk. Yeah, let's just rename it here. Okay, there. So now it's renamed. And skills battle perk shouldn't show up anywhere. Yeah, it does not. And then we delete this stuff. This is going to be annoying. Ability ID, ability ID. When we make the perk, we call generate to fill out its data. There is no combine. Oh, God. How is this done? Oh, my God. No, wait. We have to do this. We can't undo this thing. Oh, darn it. Because this tracks every ability you have. It's doing two things. Oh, man. I've made a grave mistake. Yeah, revert all of this. And then undo my commit because now the commit message is wrong. Oh. Oh man. Yeah, I gotta rework this comment. This can track multiple skills to grant as part of a perk. That's not all it does. I'm gonna actually put a footnote here. the way that we keep track of all perks granted for an adventurer is by combining them as we go. So even if we only ever present a single skill at a time per perk, we still need to track a dictionary here, since they all accumulate in a single instance of this class. Okay, okay. I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like this. I think this points to a design flaw. What we present to you is only ever one skill option. Then we need to store all the skill options you had. And we present the same way that we store. So it's always in this class. But we should technically present to you only a single ability. Every other battle perk that we have is an integer, or a float, I mean. So we present to you a float and then we store a float, and that makes sense. Because you can always just add them together. But for this, you can't do it that way. Hey, David, welcome back. All right, I don't know how to make this clear, because technically all the code is fine. It's just not going to be clear in the future when we come back to this a year from now and we're like, what in the world was I thinking? So I want to encapsulate all of that thought process into here. So when granting an ability, use this perk. We only ever grant one ability at a time. But because of how battle perks get combined, see, it should know how to type in the rest of this. Yeah, see battle perk combine. We need to store a dictionary of abilities in this class. The reason we don't just rename this to skill battle perk and track many copies of, or many instances of this class, is because we tend to use dictionaries key by ID. Okie dokie. That comment's a little bit better. Frustration maxing. Okay, so this is what makes us only grant one ability at a time. This sample one here. So all I've done so far is change a comment, right? Yeah. And then the tooltip, which is done in Battle Perk Choice UI. Skill tooltips only support having a single ability. We should only ever be generating one of these anyway, though. So yeah, let's make a constant here. Fine. Well, I guess this has to be public now. Public constant num skills to generate per perk equals 1. See the class level comment for why this is 1. All right, now we put this down here. And then we make sure in here, I guess, that nothing is wrong. This is kind of strange. So this is greater than 1, or I guess skills battle perk dot num skills generator is greater than 1. This is because multiple tooltips would look weird. Not because of a technical limitation. Yeah. All right, unfortunately, what this means is that players will see this text. So if we ever change this number to 2, and then I guess we have to get, there's like a 16% chance that this happens now, if I'm not mistaken. So we might need to roll like 2-3 times before we see it. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. I don't see it happening. Wait, no. Something's broken. This isn't working at all. Oh, it is working. But we don't render multiple abilities? What? Something is weird here. ToString. Go through each ability ID. Add a new line. Concatenate this. That is bizarre. Oh, I see. Oh, never mind. I see what's going on. This is so stupid. Yeah, this is so stupid. We only ever take one ability ID. It doesn't matter what this number is. We're only ever sampling one of these. So a lot of code would have to change here. This technically can't just be increased. So I think deleting this is probably for the best. Fine. Yeah, which means now this code isn't going to work. All right, there. So all we've done is modify comments, right? Comment change, yeah. Clarify that we clarify ability generation. We only ever generated one at a time, but now it's kind of a requirement unless we want to change the tooltip, which is certainly possible. It's not even hard. In fact, it kind of makes me wonder if we should have just done this the opposite way, but I have no plans to generate multiple skills at a time. I think it's too powerful. Could be kind of cool if we did it though, but yeah, let's save it for later. All right, so this is not a thing. I'm just going to delete this. Convert constraints into abilities. That way you can use them as negative trade-offs. Rationale, they're already interesting enough to be in the specializations and they're already coded. Design this first to make sure it makes sense. There are some pieces of abilities that aren't needed, like icons. Also, it's important that we know at any given point whether or not we can generate a negative ability. Okay. This might be a little bit more difficult to do. I'm not even sure that I like the idea, but let's go take a look at the constraint IDs that we have. So here are all of them, and they should all be negative, I think. Enemies do more damage, that's negative. Seeds cost more, you can't build something. Increase the cost, you regenerate slower. Increase costs. This one I just never coded. Item sales are worth less, get customers less frequently. No shop storage perks. I mean, that's a positive in some cases, but it's mostly a negative. No customer or worker speed perks, less loot. Yeah, great. So yeah, all of these are negative, but they're coded separately from how abilities work. Hey, Banana. Time is moving fast. All right, I wanted to do this for a particular reason, which is I wanted to use one of these constraints as a negative effect, but I don't remember what it was. I guess at the very least we could combine this. Oh, I guess some negatives wouldn't be able to show up if you already had the constraint. Like we have an enemy damage thing, right? Ability ID. Enemy stat multiplier. It's technically not damage. It's stats. So it's their life as well. But we check to see if you already have it. It should be fine. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at what it would do. So we ended up making a new class for each one of these. That's okay because we would do this with abilities too. Then we have a way of getting the multiplier here. How would this change? The tooltip part would be easy enough. But the multiplier is static. We can't have it be static. It's got to be pulled from the player abilities. Yeah. Which means we need the player abilities, which we could get from here. But I need to look at literally every one of these constraints to figure out when this will work and when it won't. So yeah, let's go through all of them. All right, regeneration component. This is just some random component. But the adventurers all have a town component, so we could get the town component from one of them. And then from here, figure out what your multiplier should be. Okay, that one's doable. What about this one? Can build pond. This pretty much has to work. Get buildable building IDs. Town, yeah, that one can be fine too. Oh man, there's so many of these to look through. This is another one of these that just has to work. Yeah, this is fine. Get customers less frequently. Number of minutes per customer. This one's fine. They're probably all fine. I'm not going to look through all these. We can find a way to make them work. Question is this work worth doing right now? That's the bigger question. The reason I wanted to do this, again, if I'm remembering correctly, is that I wanted to turn a constraint into a negative so that it could show up throughout a run. Like, how important is it that these are unique? These constraints. Town perks cost more, buildings cost more, adventurers cost more, adventurers regenerate their health slower, adventurers cost even more. Like this second one here, adventurers regenerate their health slower. That could just be a thing that shows up in the middle of a run. Is it important that it's only used for this one specialization? Also, if we can parameterize these, then we could allow for combining them. I don't think I like that idea. I think I want to put this off for a little bit longer. Items sell for less. Be offered perks. Maybe these should be unique. Oh, that's why I wanted it. It was the slightly less loot. That finally dislodged my memory. Yeah, I wanted to make it so that loot would show up less frequently. But loot showing up less frequently is practically the same as just reducing the amount of money you're taking in, right? It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. Suppose you get 10% fewer items. It's practically the same as minus 10% income. Ways in which it's different. Items aren't necessarily used for selling. You can extract / grind them. And even if they are used for selling, it takes time / like effort, I guess I'll just say, to sell them. It's not instantaneous. And what else? Yeah, it's pretty much those. Oh man. So would we want to do this? Could we just make it an ability? I guess the constraint system is kind of a weird spot. Also, I'm guessing I used some like is abstract thing for this, some reflection. Where is why did this show up in like 10 different places? What? I don't remember doing that many. No, there are only 4. Wait, what? Why did searching is abstract show like so many different spots? That's weird. I don't know. I don't know what just happened. I don't know if I'm making that up or what. All right, so this is abilities, battle perks, constraints. Yeah, I do this. We're probably gonna need source generators for that anyway at some point. Hey, Cuttlefish. I wager you get an interesting response if you ask someone if they wanted 9 standard sized burgers or 10% smaller burgers. Yeah. Then there are actually differences, and that's what I was writing out here. It's not just a feeling thing. And even with the burger thing, it's probably like your ratio of ingredient A to ingredient B would change, which is maybe interesting or important to people. There are probably, I kind of mentioned this. Imagine a game with like turn-based battling that is always 1v1, and you have a life stat, an attack stat, and a defense stat, and damage is equal to your attack minus enemy defense. So if those are the only rules you have, then increasing your attack is practically exactly the same as decreasing their defense. Like there's no speed stat, there's no different kinds of attacks or something. And same thing, like life and defense are pretty similar. There are ways of sort of making identical changes here. I'm probably formulating this really poorly. But I guess my point is, once you add any more complexity than this, like let's say you add in a speed stat, well, now this stuff breaks down. It's like, well, now maybe having more attack might be good because you might attack faster or something. So yeah, there are differences here, and how they're perceived could be different too. But I'm not certain that it's worth reusing these anyway. So I'll write an update. I originally wanted to do this so that I could have less loot drop from battles. I'm not sold that I should differentiate or that I should consolidate the systems. Constraints are unique-ish to specializations, although not entirely. It may be nice to keep them that way. That's kind of neither here nor there, is it? Yeah, I'm unconvincing myself right now. Doesn't really matter whether they're unique or not. Since we could convert them into abilities anyway and just not offer them as part of the trade-off choices. I want my dud perk. Yeah, that we're going to code for sure. That's a good one. Yeah. All right. Well, let's make some other changes first. I'll think about that one for a little bit longer. Prevent double clicking to buy perks too soon. Just disable the buy button for whatever time it takes most people to double click. Average double click time around 140 to 190 milliseconds. All right, so we should probably make it a little bit higher than that, because what we're trying to do is prevent accidental double clicks. And if the average time is, let's say, like 175 milliseconds, that's for you to just literally double click. You need to also process what you're seeing, which can't take like 25 milliseconds. It's got to take longer than that. So if we set it to 250 milliseconds, we'd pretty much stop all of the accidental double clicks and not frustrate people who are trying to choose things quickly. Hey, TJ. I bet I can get it down to 50 milliseconds. You probably can. But I think online click speed timer. List times between clicks or taps. Oh, I see. I just double click this. Yeah, I mean, if I'm like mashing the button as fast as possible. Yeah, we got a 38 milliseconds in there. But again, no one would be intentionally trying to like speed up clicking something in this game so that they don't have to make a choice, I guess, unless they're like any choice would be good. And in that case, that's a game design problem. So yeah, I don't see this happening. But yeah, if I'm just double clicking regularly, like I'm not thinking about this too much. These are my actual times, like 100 to 150. So yeah, I think waiting for 250 is probably fine. Okay. It's pretty cool though that you found this. This is nice. This is the kind of thing that if you didn't have vibe coding, it would probably be very quick. And I imagine AI would get it correct on probably the first try, which is kind of interesting. I really, really think AI is going to change this like one-off tooling. Schrodinger's, thanks to the resub. Happy 13. All right, so yeah, let's go code this. This is when we show you any sort of choice. And we have this somewhere. Perk choice panel. Choice panel. What do I call this? Perk panel tab? No, it's not that. There's like a choose. There it is. Choose perks panel tab. All right, choices container. So whenever we fill this with things, which is where, right there. So whenever we fill this, oh, well, this is update from perk choices. So it's only when it changes. Oh, this won't work. Because it updates every single time a tooltip changes. But also, no, that's it. Reroll perks. Reroll perks takes place in a different part of the UI, so that should be okay. I mean, we could just make the timer from here, but I am concerned about this. This is on any of this stuff changed. And we listen for the change handlers here. So it's when you choose a perk, when you bought a perk. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I think this is okay. All right, so let's make a timer in here. Click protection timer. Okay, make this in ready. Seconds to stop, click 4. Wait time is going to be 0.25. I should turn that into a constant. Then activate and then check to see if it's on or not. So this is in changed or perk choices, update perk choices. So if click protection is on, we're going to stop this. I think we should just disable the buttons for a second, which will maybe look weird. I don't know what I want to do with that. Add perk choice. How does this work? Do we have the button? No, it's here. We would need to make some public thing that sets it to enabled or not. Public void set choose button enabled. Bool is enabled. There we go. All right, so we go through all the perk choices. And I guess we're adding these as disabled by default. So just set, actually we could just do this all at once, right? Update perk button enabled state. Perk choice. This is get children. Okay, I don't like that. But this will work at least. All right, so we start the timer and then we call this. And then when the timer stops, click protection timer dot timeout plus equal that. Okay, let's try it. So now for a quarter of a second, you shouldn't be able to click to buy a perk. Yeah, and you can see them become disabled. So if I, yeah, nice. Okay. They are actually disabled. I'm not sure I like them becoming disabled. I think we should probably just stop them from working, but not make them look any different because then the UI is changing on you, which might be a little bit strange. Yeah, I think that does look a little bit strange. How do I want to do this then? because perk choice has the choose button, which is this, which just does chosen, which goes up to here. So what we could do is if click protection timer, if it's not stop, then just don't do anything. Can you just sleep them globally? Yeah, I can do that. I mean, that's what this code would do. So now I just delete this. And now that's the same effective thing, except for it won't make them look disabled. So let's see what that's like. I gotta click them fast enough. I probably should just increase the timer. I need them to be like right there. Because I don't think this is working. No, I don't think it's working. If it's not stopped, return. We start this thing, right? Let's just set the time to 1 whole second. Unless something else is listening to chosen. If it is, then that makes sense why this isn't working. No, now it's working, yeah. So it just wasn't obvious at a quarter of a second. I probably wasn't clicking fast enough. Yeah, I like that. I think it's good. All right, so let's go make a private const double. What do we call it for these? Seconds to stop clicks for? Yeah, seconds to stop clicks for. That's what we're going to call this too. Also, the wait time is a double, right? Yeah. So I don't know why we have this as a float here. I should change this to a double in each of these cases. That one's fine. That one is fine. Cool. All right, so this isn't needed. This isn't needed. There's one other place it was used where it shouldn't be needed. Yep, right there. And then we don't need it on the buttons themselves. All right, so that's our change. Pretty simple. We changed some of these to doubles. This I'm going to check in on its own because these are technically unrelated to what I just did. Change click protection times to doubles. This is functionally identical, but now matches the signature of Godot's timer. So this is all we changed, right? Add a timer. Add it here. It's one shot. Start it here. Make sure it's not still running. Okay, so prevent accidental double clicks. When choosing perks, several people, including myself, noticed that it's pretty easy to double click the buy button and sometimes choose a perk immediately and sometimes inadvertently choose a perk immediately. There is now a 0.25 second delay to prevent that. The buttons don't look disabled, or the buttons aren't actually disabled during that time so that the UI doesn't look weird to the player. Because it's only for a quarter second. That one's done now. Okay, now I want to make that dud perk. I wonder if we should make 2. Like, you're always given 3 choices of perks, and we're going to have a negative effect that you can choose that says the dud perk now appears. So you're given a choice of like good choice 1, good choice 2, and then dud perk. This isn't that punishing, but if we said like 3 dud perks can appear, then it might actually force you to use a reroll. So yeah, I'm not sure just having one of these is a good idea. Because remember, if you saw this, you'd be like, well, at least there are some good choices, right? Well, let's start by making one. We're definitely going to need at least one. But yeah, we might need to make many. Dud perk. All right. So how does this function? Or wait, no, sorry. There's got to be like dud perk can show up. Yeah. So this is a Boolean ability, sort of like this one. All right, required building is none. Name, sure. Generate, because this is a trade-off ability, yeah. Let's not worry about that for now. This is going to be dud perk. A dud perk can now show up when you buy a town perk. What if every time you don't take it, it has a higher and higher chance? Meaning it eventually just be the only thing you can take until you pick it? Oh, you're saying what if it could show in multiple slots? I hadn't thought about that. I was just thinking there would be several. So right now, the plan is there's one perk and it's got like 3 or 4 levels. But what we could do is we could say there are 2 to 3 perks and each one has like 1 to 3 levels. So if you are forced into choosing it, it'd probably make it like, I don't know. Anyway, we figure out what we want these to be. But so if you are forced into choosing it, you would eventually remove it from the pool. I think we kind of need to go this route. Otherwise, I just don't think it seems all that punishing. It's like you choose this and you're like, oh, well, I'll just ignore that perk every time it shows up. And you're guaranteed to be able to ignore it because there's only one of them. Yeah, I think I like this idea better. I think we do maybe 3 dud perks and maybe 2 levels each. So you can get rid of one of them by spending 2 points, and you'll never get all dud options again. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so this should be called dud perks can show up. And this should be renamed. Dud perk. Okay, dud perks. Dud perks can now show up when you buy a town perk. Can appear as choices when you buy a town perk. Yeah. All right, so now we need 3 different dud perks. Dud perk 1, dud perk 2. They have to be unique, even though they're going to pretty much be identical. And then we need to allow this to show up. So we go to the trade-off generator, and we code this as a negative ability. Then we go into the town perk choice generator. And if you have this ability, then we need to add in more of these. If AC dot has unlocked ability, dud perks can show up. Can you do an add all here? Add range. There's just add. It only takes in one thing. Okay, well, it's not that hard to do, I guess. 2 and 3. All right, cool. So now we got to go code those 3 perks, which should be fun because they are nonsense. So dud perk 1. Actually, they could all have the same. They could all literally be the same. This is not a trade-off ability, so I should not have coded it as such. So let's go delete that for a second. It's going to be an ability sort of like Quicker Strike, and it'll have multiple levels. It says passive ability, but it's a player ability. So I guess it's more like increased hunger. What do I call this? Faster hunger. Okay, yeah. So we'll call this dud perk 1. And I guess just delete this and this. Dud perk. I should probably localize this as I'm doing this, huh? If Amazon, what are your favorite shortcuts in VS Code? I think the ones I use the most are Command P, Command R. This is go to file. This is go to function. And then just switching tabs and stuff. Multiple cursors. I don't know, those sorts of things. One of my favorite ones that is rarely usable is, let's say you make a typo that has a transposition of characters like this. There is a transposed character, Command T by default. Whenever that comes in handy, I'm always like, oh, that was fun. But it's rare that you need that. Yeah, I think these ones are the most usable, the most important ones. The multiple cursor stuff is really nice. I've done some videos on this stuff too. I think I have a video there. Same thing with like, I was doing this earlier. If you have a bunch of numbers, let's say on different lines. So let's say you want to add these up. Let's say you had a bunch of them though. Like, I don't know, imagine these are all unique too. So I can do this, select all of them, split into multiple lines, put a plus, evaluate, and then you have the sum of all of them. And it's like, you need multiple cursors, you need an extension, you need to know the different shortcuts for that stuff. But hey, it's really fast once you can do it. Yeah, I like that sort of thing. Okay, so this would be the display name. And this is going to be dud perk. So we put this here. Messages dot get display name. Max level. I think the max level should just be a like 2. We need the messages that are here though. I've never made an array of messages for this, have I? This doesn't require a building. I don't know, like level 1 description does nothing. Level 2 description, extra nothing. All right, so we delete this. We delete this. This only exists in challenge mode. We delete this. We can say nothingness amount. Basic nothing and extra nothing. And then for this, put level 1 description. Yeah, something like that. Missing partial modifier. All right, this is now filled in. So I'm going to just save this 3 times. Dud perk 2 and dud perk 3. And then we're going to change this to 3 here. Dud perk. Oh, this, we got to make special icons for these, I guess. Dud perk 2. Oh, and then rename this as well. All right. Let me think about that. This is, yeah, this, we need icons for the dud perks. I need to copy SVG files for them. Feasting on your money. It is. Okay, so now we need to test this out. Yeah. So we're going to get 4 perks. None of them should be the dud perk. And then we're given a trade-off. And ideally, it shows the dud perk option, or else we need to restart. So we're just going to grant ourselves a bunch of money. Click this. We get 4 perks. None of them should be the dud perk. Nope. 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 And nope. Okay, now we get the trade-off option. And here it is, dud perks. Dud perks can appear as choices when you buy a town perk. Okay, so we click this. And now it's not a guarantee, but there are now 3 dud perks in the pool. Yeah, there's one. Dud perk does nothing. Level nothingness amount. Okay. So there's technically a level 0 description here too that we need. Oh, we need to modify all of this. I should probably have this use like proper inheritance. Especially if they're not going to have unique descriptions. They could have unique ones. In fact, we could just copy paste all this, huh? And then dud perk 1. Oh, except for I didn't write down nothing, extra nothing, and the most nothing. Yeah, I like that. We should probably also give them numbers. What happened here? Oh, I see. I didn't copy paste this correctly. Yeah, we should give them numbers. So this should be dud perk 1. This should be dud perk 2. And this should be dud perk 3. Okay, let's try that out. That way you as a player aren't confused. Like, why am I getting this? Why isn't the level as high as it should be? All right, so we buy 4 of these. We should never see the dud perks. Good. Then we get this. Now we should see dud perks show up occasionally. There it is. Does nothing. Nothingness amount. Extra nothing. I like basic nothing showing up there. Yeah, I like that. So let's change this to basic nothing. It's supposed to be nonsensical. It's like a humorous way of giving you a lack of an option here. All right, so we picked dud perk 3. That's going to be leveled up. So now I got to remember that. Yeah, so now here's dud perk 3. Now we're given the most nothing. And 1 also showed up. So if we pick 3, it should now be out of the pool. Yeah, I think this is the right way to do it. Because you can see how many options are not affected by this. Like, it's as though we never got the negative here. Now, anytime you do have to choose a dud perk, you're going to be upset. Which, granted, you chose the ability for these to show up in the first place. So it's your own fault. But yeah, if you're like, oh, I don't like this one, I don't like this one, then your choice is either, well, pick one of the 3 and just they're all kind of bad for you, or re-roll. So it almost makes me wonder if we should add like 4 dud perks to the set. Yeah, I think we should. Which means I should parameterize these now because they're all basically identical. They have a different ID and they have a different name. So it's just name and ID that needs to be different. So we're going to save this as dud perk. And it's going to take in a name, or I guess display name, and an ability ID. And then instead of making data here, we're going to do new player ability data. There we go. Okay, so nothingness amount. All this stuff should be put into here too. Header name is nothingness amount. That goes here. And then this is the description. Wait, what did it say? Does nothing? Yeah. Cool. So now the other ones can inherit from this. So dud perk 1 is a dud perk, and it's given this. Oh, and then I guess I don't want a whole bunch of boilerplate here. Yeah, let's just put all the display names for this here. Dud perk 1 display name. Dud perk 2 display name. Yeah, like that. That's good. So this is private, but it should be internal now. And then for this, what we can do is delete all of that. And delete pretty much all of this too. And just put dud perk dot messages dot get 1 display name. Yeah, there. And delete all of that. Cool. Now we go override this. and just replace those with 2. And then, oh, why is that? No, that's not, why is, oh, because it inherits from that? You can just do messages? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that was valid. And then dud perk 3. And we're probably going to add in another one. A 4th one. Dud perk 4. And I never added the 4th display name. Sure, there. Okay, now there's one last problem, which is that the town perk choice generator needs to know about the 4th one. And then this should probably tell you, where is it? Dud perks can show up. Yeah, this should probably tell you how many there are. 4 dud perks can appear as choices when you buy a town perk. I broke something. What did I break? Initializer for all abilities through an exception cannot dynamically create an instance of this. No parameterless constructor defined. Oh boy. This is abstract. Thankfully, I think it's just that easy. Yeah, nice. Okay, so let's do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have the money. Yep, no dud perk showed up. We didn't get dud perks here though, so we got to restart. There's a very slim chance of that happening. All right, yep, there it is. 4 dud perks can appear as choices when you buy a town perk. Sounds good. So no duds there, no duds there. We are offered 1 here. Yeah, so this should feel like a negative. I'm very glad I did this. Does nothing needs a period at the end. Yeah, okay. This is pretty good. So we should get some options that have many dud perks. Actually, as we pick more and more of these, I guess it'll happen. Yeah, in fact, I don't even know if 4 is enough. There's 1. Yeah, we've pruned out like 3 now out of the pool. There's 1. Yeah, there's 1. Now we pruned another one out, pruned another one out. There's 1. Dud perk 2. Yeah, so now we're starting to see them more often because we're pruning some of these out of the pool. None there. I'm just seeing what this feels like as a player. Like the negative doesn't really impact me very much. I'm never making a difficult choice. Like here's one of the dud perks. I guess toward the end of the game, you're probably going to be forced to pick them or spend your rerolls. Like now we're seeing them multiple times in a row. Now we saw none. I guess I haven't pruned enough out. There's 1. Yeah, I mean, eventually that's all that can show up. But how many have I picked so far? I've got 8 rerolls. Every 5 perks you buy, you get a reroll. So I've bought 40 perks and I've like hardly seen them. I guess we need to add more of them in, huh? Yeah. Maybe we'll add a 5th one then. Because yeah, it's like hardly got in the way. I bought 50 now. Here we go. This is the kind of thing I was expecting to see. So if you were presented with this option, you'd be like, well, I guess I'm going for the warehouse or I'm re-rolling. So we should add in a 5th perk, I think. A 5th dud. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. You can make it be 1 perk with infinite levels and modify how often they show up by increasing their count in the pool. But right now we don't have a way of showing you the same perk multiple times in there. Yeah. But yes, that is another way we could do it. Okay, so this will be 5. This will be 5. This will be 5. Then what else? This. All right, so then we need to change the word 4 to 5. So if you wanted to buy your way through these, it would cost you 10 skill points or 10 town perks choices, which would not be something that you'd want to do. I said it should be rare. Apparently it's not as rare as I thought. Okay, so we just get any of these. Good. Dud perks. Okay, so now we should start seeing them. I want to see how often they pollute the pool. There's 1. So yeah, what I like about this way of doing things, another way we could have framed this is we could have said X% chance to only get 2 choices. That's almost like what we're doing, but you could choose to get this and then it'll disappear from the pool, which will lower your X% chance in the future. Also, the other nice thing about this is as you eliminate choices, X essentially rises. So it's like if we only have 50 unique perks and then you add in 5 duds, so now you have a 5 out of 55 chance, which is about 9%. But as you eliminate the unique ones, like once you get to 5 out of 25, it's like, well, you're going to see this pretty frequently. So yeah, now they're getting in the way. I like that. That's how it should be. Every once in a while, you get a clean choice. But then sometimes, yeah, it's like you have 1 choice less. Should probably figure out what the percentages are. Yes, it's like 1 out of every 4 or 5 perks. And then as time goes on, it looks like, oh, I just picked a dud one. Yeah, now that was a couple. Oh, see, this is like a really, really bad thing. Now, the final thing we could do for flavor here is we could customize these so they all have humorous descriptions that are unique from one another. Like this could say does nothing. This one could say doesn't do something. And we could just keep coming up with ways of having nonsense words there. It reminds me of a Twitch copy pasta that existed, which is something like as you read this message, you begin to understand that there is no value in this message, and yet you continue to read it. You are now approaching the end of the message. You've reached the end of the message. It has still told you nothing. Your time has been wasted. Yeah, as we add more unique ones, we may need to modify this too, yeah. I like the idea. I just don't want to come up with all of that. I guess we can have AI come up with it. And it would just be a different description, right? So we could just pass in the description and localize them all here. Like does nothing, doesn't do something. I don't know. I don't have enough ideas. Let's just leave it as is for now. Yeah. Okay, so dud perks have been added. Looks good. Yep, looks good. Oh, I need to make their icons. I haven't done that. Okay, yeah. So Skeleseller game. Oh, nice. Whoops. We already have the thing typed out. All right, so I want to copy Apple Core to dudperk.svg. And then go make an icon ID. Dud perk. It's just going to be the one. Dual targeting dud perk. And then go change the base class here to be dud perk. The reason I need to do this is because once you've chosen a perk, it shows up in here. So let's see this one, dud perk 5. If we click that, now it's showing up here, but it's with the wrong icon. We don't have an icon, so it's going to show up as an apple core. But at least it'll be unique. All right, so let's go modify our art requests. Ding, ding, ding. There's a trade-off perk that can make dud perks show up. These do nothing. Where's the perk itself? I guess I'll take a picture of it like this. I need to find it first. Come on. There it is. Yeah. We can use the same icon for all 5 of them. Kirby Superstar had a dud item, didn't it? I don't know why this just came up. It was in the Great Cave Offensive. Great Cave Offensive items. 60 treasures. Where are they all? Wasn't dud one of them? Yeah, dud. I want to see the icon, though. Where's the icon? Come on, show me the icon. This is the same page I was just on, isn't it? And it doesn't even have dud here. Huh. Treasure guide, Nintendo Castle. Oh, here we go. Ah, there it is. It's like a missile or a bomb. Yeah. I was thinking it could also just be like an empty treasure chest. Man, this game was amazing. Really like Kirby Superstar. Great game, yeah. Very fun. Really looking forward to Kirby Air Riders. Now let's check that in. Add dud perks. This is a negative option that can show up in the trade-offs. I probably should look through this one more time, although, yeah, while I modify for the icons. Okay. All right, so more trade-offs. Are there any other issues that people have been talking about that I need to work on now? Balance what we have, maybe just with perk levels. I did this. Oh, I never added in a new thing for harvesting efficiency. I am kind of curious if we should do that. Like there's a perk to say harvest 5 crops at a time. I wonder if we should add another level that says harvest 15 crops at a time. Hmm. Oh, the well isn't showing up. That's bizarre. Where's the well? What? What caused that to disappear? That's strange. Is it because it's not because I won the game. Is it because of the dud perks? Hey, Zigga. How you doing? I don't know what caused this. And, like, it's showing up right now. What am I supposed to do? Weird. What would have done that? There were no errors. What's going on? Just working on improving challenge mode. And I I'm trying to figure out, like, the well just disappeared on the farm. I don't know what could even cause that to happen. I mean, maybe I clicked enough of these things where it eventually happened, in which case buying a certain perk caused it. Maybe it was actually, maybe well water showed up here. That wouldn't make sense, though. I have it maxed, don't I? Oh, it's not maxed. Oh my God. Oh, I know what happened then. Okay, yeah, this is a bug. I gotta fix this. I know how to fix it too. Let's just see if what I'm thinking is correct. Yeah, here, if I upgrade this, then it disappears. Yeah. Okay, I know what happened. Well, water, faster, what do I call it? Faster. What is this called? Faster crops? It's not called faster crop. Crop growth? Crop growth speed. Crop growth speed. There. All right. Set well level. Well, that's set fill level. Yeah, here. So this should just be, this should have a maximum on it. What is the maximum? It used to be 2, I suppose. So math.min. Constant num well levels, level graphics equals 2. No, we have 3. So shouldn't this be like that? I think so. Yeah, let's try that out. C# with Godot? Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. All right. This is why you don't just randomly upgrade perks. Now I think it should be fine. This is filled up. So all we need to do is try to find... Oh, there. Well, it's offered first. I broke it. So then 3 is not okay. This has to be 2. Is level 0 indexed? It's probably 0 indexed. Wait, that doesn't make any sense, though, right? This is num graphics. Num graphics is technically 3, so this should just be -1. How is that compared to using GDScript? There are some differences in terms of ergonomics, I would say. And I think GDScript is probably more straightforward for most people. So it's all about personal preference. I preferred C# for the reasons listed in this command. Also, hey, Regathian. I preferred C# for those reasons, but I don't think they're necessarily compelling reasons for everybody. And there is a major, major drawback of using C# with Godot right now, but this will get fixed eventually, which is you can't have web exports. It's just not supported right now. So if you really, really want to be able to go to a page and be able to click run game in the browser, you can't use C# right now. But that'll get fixed eventually, and then that major downside won't be there. And it doesn't really impact this game because, well, I guess it impacts the demo to some extent. It would be nice if people could play that in the browser. But it doesn't impact the full game. The full game is always going to be a paid thing. Well, I guess you could have a paid game in the browser. All right, what was I going to do? Oh, I was going to test this one more time. I don't know if I actually got that working. Let's make this not take as long, though. We'll just delete all of this stuff. And all of this stuff. But yeah, like I said, I think GDScript probably makes sense for a lot of people who are getting started with coding or with Godot. And then if you find that it's not meeting your needs, you could always switch. You could always mix in C# as well. But I don't think it's probably worth it for most people. All right, so I click this. It's still getting deleted. How have I messed this up? I'm going to put a breakpoint there, and we're going to try this again. Number of graphics is 3. The level is what, 4? And I want the minimum of these two things. And the minimum of this is going to be 2. Oh, it's setting the level of the well? Okay, so that's probably an issue. And I don't want to do that. And this is using lowercase level anyway. So yeah, my bad. Yeah. Okay, let's try that. Distributing a browser demo is problematic though, unless you're planning on selling it on itch. Why is it problematic? You can host your own if you want. Should be pretty simple. Found the web exports of the audio stream use doesn't work great. A lot of stuttering and pausing. Yeah, but presumably that's just a Godot problem, right? All right, what's going on here now? So that looks good. And it still looks good. And it still looks good. Okay, let's try regular mode now. Fairly large, you have to provide adequate hosting for it. Well, why is that a problem? I think most static hosts, assuming they have the right flags configured, it shouldn't even cost you anything, right? Becomes expensive. I don't know. I mean, if you could just host this on like Vercel or something, it should be free. I've had Adam Learns online for a bunch of years, and granted, it's not trying to pull in hundreds of thousands of people, but for most people, your games aren't going to pull in a ton of people anyway. And this hasn't cost me anything, I think. So I imagine if I were just hosting a game there, it'd also probably be fine. So this is filled by default. That is not correct. 2 plus 1. That's not right either, is it? Shouldn't it be -2 if we're going to add this? I think we should do level plus 1 here. In fact, that's why this is broken, isn't it? I am very surprised this is taking me as long as it is. Itch can host a game for free and supports a huge file size for web. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why you wouldn't choose to use itch for your hosting for that. This is still too high up, right? Oh, wait, no, this is... Oh, my God, this is wrong. I don't know how have I broken this as badly as I have. Unfilled well x coordinate. So this isn't right. Yeah, this can't be right. Let's go look at the assets for this. I think it's in world. Yeah, and then I think in here there's farm. Yeah, and then there's an atlas. And we go look at where the well is, and it's 384. It is 384. Oh, we have 4 graphics. Oh my God. Okay, that explains it. I have this code. I have this set to 3 because I thought we had. I thought we had 3. All right, so this is just 4. So now we're gonna pick. We can go up to 3 further away. And level plus 1. All right, let me take a look at what this used to say. It used to be level plus 1. Yeah. So I think we keep that there. About being able to handle the traffic increase, it becomes popular. I don't really think many people are probably in this state. People who for some reason don't want to use itch and are expecting to get tons of people to play their game and aren't going to be selling it, presumably. Like, wouldn't the streamer just direct them to a Steam page or something? I get that if you're in all of those cases, and I guess you, I don't know. I don't even know how much money it would cost you necessarily, even if you had to pay for bandwidth. It just seems like a weird thing to say to someone who probably is new to this and probably isn't going to have that apply to them. All right. This is still wrong. Oh, man. All right, let's put a breakpoint here. And I'll just relaunch this. Or reload the game. So level set to 0. Do level plus 1 here. which actually is not how this should work. It should just be level. I wonder why we had the +1. Huh. I sure love the amount of effort I'm putting in for something that should be incredibly simple. Oh, we don't use the unfilled well graphic. Okay, now I realize what happened. Oh man. All right, we only have 3 levels of this upgrade. Okay, okay. And we want there to be water in the well no matter what, because it looks weird that way. All right, I finally understand this. So this is what we want here. We want this +1 over there. And then for all of this to be in parentheses. Oh man. Okay, that took me much longer than it should have. So this is not num well graphics. This is num filled well graphics. We actually have an unfilled one that we just never use. Yeah. Okay, so this is due to poor assumptions on the what graphics are we showing part of things, which is an okay, that's a reasonable thing for me to be confused about, given that I completely forgot how this worked. We don't have the money for this, but now we do. So we fill this once, and then we fill it again. Yeah, nice. And then we'll try in challenge mode 2. Everything should look fine. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking this was a code problem the whole time. It was me not knowing what the sprite sheet had the whole time, which I guess led to a code problem. And no more perks available. Nice. Nice. Okay, cool. So that fixes that. This is a very minor problem. No one seemed to ever mention this to me, but it's nice to have it be fixed. Fix bug with the well on the farm. When I modified the maximum level of well water, I didn't adjust. It tried accessing graphics, empty graphics, I guess. I now have it limit how far into the sprite sheet it will look. Okay. Cool. So yeah, harvesting efficiency. I think that's a question for right now. We have harvesting efficiency, which has only 1 level. It is harvest 5 crops at once. Your farm can have up to 25 crops though. So should we have another level that harvests 15, 20, or 25 crops at once? I think it would be kind of nice to be like harvesting efficiency. Level 0 is 1 crop at a time. Level 1 is 5 crops. And level 2 is all crops. The reason I'm torn on this is because I'm thinking if you didn't have to click the farm as often, what would you be doing with those extra clicks? Because at best, this can save you 4 clicks, right? We're not considering level 0 because you'd already have level 1 in this scenario. So it'd save you 4 clicks. And even then, not really, because the farm doesn't grow all of them at once. They stagger. So if we speed this up, the carrots will get grown first. Yep. And now if I were to click, I'm going to harvest everything on the farm, but these ones weren't ready yet. So I'd still have to click again for those. So if I am going to do this, I guess it's going to harvest the entire farm. But is that a worthwhile thing? And then, yeah, what are you doing with the rest of this? I guess it's moving items around and stuff. I guess we could leave it to the player to decide. Yeah. Add another level to harvesting efficiency that harvests the whole farm at once. Players may just never choose this, but they may find it appealing. The reason why it's okay to harvest all at once and not have it be overpowered is because crops grow at different rates anyway. All right, I don't think it's going to make like a major change though. This part we already did. I'm just going to delete this actually. Okay, what time is it? It's 11. This part's been done. Yeah. I didn't go with the implementation listed below. Instead, I just have a tooltip on the entire rich text label. All right, so this we can delete. Phase 2 anyway. If you had something that reduced the penalty for premature harvesting, it'd be more interesting. Reduced penalty. There's no penalty. What are you talking about? Do you want us to add a penalty and then reduce it? The penalty is that you get less yield? What? I don't follow what you're talking about. There's no penalty right now for trying to harvest early from a crop not fully matured. Yeah, there's no, there's, I don't know what you're talking about. If you click this, it doesn't, there's no penalty for that. It doesn't like delete the crop or something. All right, so this we're going to hold off on for now. This, I still think we need to add at least one more of these. I think I want there to be more trade-off options. An enchantress spell active, crops grow 50% faster or slower. Yeah, I think I need to come up with more of those. I think that's a top priority. Priority is being able to give more trade-off options. So you're saying there's no reason to wait until they're fully grown? I'm saying that it's like if I click here in this part of the document and I say, hey, there's a penalty for clicking this button, like there's no button there. It's not that they're not interactable. So you can't be penalized for harvesting them because you can't harvest them. I think you should play the demo, Regabian. I think you've been watching for long enough, and for whatever reason, you haven't played the game yet. And it's kind of distracting to some extent. And it doesn't take that long. You could play for like an hour, and you'd probably experience most of the game. Okay, so this, I think the other thing we should probably do, probably make twists more apparent somehow. I wonder if they're clear enough how we... No, I deleted all this. Okay, I need to restart this then. Out of curiosity, Regathian, do you have something against playing the demo? Like, is it that you think it'll take too much time, or you're like, I just don't like this game idea? Because I think this has caused problems before too. All right, I want to see what the UI for this looks like. Yeah, I think we can make this clearer. I think the chevron idea that someone had suggested would be good for this. Just like an up or a down. And we could probably get that from somewhere. I also wanted to make this into purely a negative and not have an upside here. That we'll just go do right now. That's very easy to do. Trade-off generator. Income multiplier. Yeah, let's just delete this from here. Did I read any comments saying something about this being positive? It's allowed to be positive, but I never generate that version of it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there should be 3 unique negatives now. Income multiplier. No, there are only 2 unique ones, but that's okay because you can't pick all of the remaining ones as positive. So now you'll never see just 2 choices. Would that have even been the case before this? I think we already fixed this anyway. All right, remove income multiplier as a positive trait. I just don't think it's super interesting as a positive, but it's more interesting as a negative. No, I've just not gotten around to playing it. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I'd like it if you could try. I think you're here often enough and you're giving input often enough where it'd probably, hopefully be fun for you and but it'd be more helpful for me. And you don't even need to join the playtest or anything. Because, yeah, I think challenge mode would be more of a commitment. Okay, so this is done. This is done. For each fish in your fishing pond, increase the power of all enemies. You know, getting rerolls more frequently could also be pretty interesting. Get reroll tokens more often. I guess we could do the flip side of that too. You get them less often. I don't know if that part's interesting though. Yeah, I don't think it's very interesting. It doesn't really feel like much of a negative. Plus 50% food value is bonkers. And I'm using display names for the trade-off choices. Okay. Yeah, I think it's content balancing. I think it's all the same stuff that I had listed here. So I guess at this point it's like make twists clearer. Okay, let me fill out this journal. What do we do? Get log. Ability tooltips. Okay, yeah. Improve challenge mode. The biggest impact was to add tooltips for abilities when presented as battle perks. Okay. Let's say someone were to play challenge mode right now. What would they find frustrating or confusing? I think part of this is it's very apparent when you watch someone play the game what's difficult for them. So I probably need to look through the feedback that we've gotten so far, but then I want to watch people try this for the first time. And I think that at the end of this week, I can share this with some people who've agreed to do that. And then I'll probably learn a lot. So next week, we'll probably have more obvious things we can do. Sorry, something just struck me here. Was this always kind of cut out here? Huh, I don't remember. But I don't remember that standing out to me. But if it is, that's fine. I don't find it to be problematic. And if it's not, I could actually even probably fill it in myself. But it's not a big deal. Okay, yeah, I think it's gonna be it for today. I just wanted to kick my day off. I think in the afternoon I want to try making a video for Skeleseller. I want to improve the metrics around people playing. Like if I look at this page, it says, well, actually right now there are 5 people playing. That's not too bad. But like this number ideally should be like 20 plus, which would indicate that people like it, that they're sharing it, that sort of thing. Playthrough felt much better in terms of the progression. And did you play the regular mode or challenge mode? Because I don't remember what from the screenshot. You were in regular mode. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious what you think about challenge mode. I don't remember if I gave you a key. I last played before the multi-click and stack perks. Gotcha. Well, if you do want to join the playtest and I haven't given you a key, feel free to DM me on Discord. I don't have the special builds. Yeah. So I can give you access if you want. Don't feel obligated. I don't want anyone to have to be like, oh, I have to play the playtest. It's like, it should be people who want to play so that they're willing to give feedback on that stuff. Although you've been giving feedback anyway, which is nice. All right, I'm going to go find someone to raid. Let's go raid. Let's raid Lana. Yeah. I think she's playing RimWorld today. All right. Thank you all for watching. It was just meant to be a morning stream. And yeah, it's like close enough to lunchtime anyway. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a full day. And we'll end the day by raiding someone who's going to be playing Skeleseller for the first time. So that should be fun. Yeah, thanks all for being here. If you want to join Discord, there's a link. And I shall see you next time. Take care.